Hi guys, it's me, just listening again. And for this video that I will be dedicating to Asian History Month in the year 2025, I shall be talking about a little film that started a major fan franchise. It was actually kind of unexpected too. Kung Fu Panda. And this is a big franchise that started sequel after sequel after sequel, and a spin-off series too. And yeah, this caught everyone off guard, including myself, because it was a bunch of animals that knew kung fu. Who would have thought that this movie would be this good, this brilliant, this colorful, this a masterpiece, pretty much. No, I gotta say that I didn't think it was that this was when it came out. I didn't even bother with watching the movie for the first time. But then I got into seeing the movie, and then the sequel, and then number 3. I started to see number 4 and the other series to go with it. But this one was really special. In fact, it was very good and special. In fact, I wonder if DreamWorks, the people that made it, actually knew that they had something nice on their hands. Something nice and special. Something that was very dedicated to Kung Fu and both the martial art aspect of it, as well as the philosophical with it too. So, this movie series is so good and so it hits so hard with the messages of kung fu and balance and all that other stuff. It was actually one of the few movies I believe that actually broke the barrier and went into China and did well in China. Of course, translation and stuff, but this is actually one of the hallmarks of Hollywood cinema that I went there because there's like a big ban on it, on American movies in China. So, because it was such a cultural hallmark for the Chinese culture and stuff, it was a lot over there and prospered and thrived over there. So, now let me get this out of the way first and foremost. Before I get into the main meat and potatoes of the movie here, the casting. Now, people might say that because the main cast consists of Jack Black as Poe. Mr. Tifu is played by Justin Hoffman. Tigress is played by Angelina Jolie. Monkey is played by Jackie Chan, which, by the way, is underutilized in this movie. Seth Rogen plays Mantis. David Cross plays Crane. Lucy Liu plays the snake over here, and Eve King plays the Thailand. And let's see here. Uguay is played by Randall Doug Kim, and James Hong, the most annoying guy with a Chinese accent. He plays the character of the guy that I can't think of his name for in Mulan, the accountant. And he's actually a real good actor. I like him just because I recognize him as being really, really annoying. He plays Poe's adopted father, the Goose. And Michael Clark Duncan that's his whole. He plays uh one of the head of the rental guards guarding Shalon. Now, what's wrong with this cast? Okay, it's about 3/4 of the way. I mean, 2/3 of the way. White and other than Asian, whereas 1/3 of the cast is more or less Asian people. So why am I not bitching about the whole whitewashing thing with this movie inspired by an Asian martial art that be kung fu. Well, first of all, they're animals. They're not human characters. So I don't think that's really big of an issue. Unlike Kubo and the two strings. So I don't think it's a big deal. Plus, it symbolizes more of philosophies to deal with bullying, martial arts schools, and that kind of thing, rather than actual people themselves. So I think it gets a pass. Also, the animals in this movie that made the scale. So like Mantis is like a little itty bitty bug type character. If you like him like Snake is a long character like a snake would be. And Poe is like a big giant panda. Obviously. So they have ducks, they have pigs, they have Talon is a snow leopard. So it's all to scale, which I find really amazing. And they also have the red panda here, played by Justin Hoffman, and they actually make him look like the real Hoffman, the real graduate, which is really something nice. And they have monkey, tigress, mantis, and snake and crane, which are real martial arts schools. I don't know if that's just for kung fu or if that's just like a general thing for a school of thought in martial arts. But it's pretty cool that they are so entrenched in that. So it's not just the music, it's not the visuals, but they actually incorporate real philosophy into this movie. And also, for the same matter, they do Taoist, and I think Buddhist philosophies as well in it too, about control, destiny, and all that other good stuff. So, and also for the same matter, they do the same thing they do with other movie studios in which they change that logo a little bit around. So that, the fisherman, the dream logo as being the fisherman guy of the moon. Well, they changed it to be more of a ninja type character or a Chinese equivalent fish called the moon. And that's actually very kind of cute, actually. And also, I should point out that the DVD itself is basically off-white. Nothing special about it. With two clasps that close it. I don't know why they need the clasp there, but it's kind of annoying. So, also, let's see what was there. There's also a little bit of self-fulfilling prophecy too in this movie. I'll get that in a minute. And I must say that Master Oogway is supposed to be this kung fu master that discovered kung fu, and he looks a lot like Chuckle, believe it or not. And looks like Chuckle and the turtle from Neverending Story. So anyway, I like Poe. I like Poe because he likes food like I do. He likes martial arts like I do. He also has weird dreams like I do in anime. Yeah, I swear. And when he does fantasy dreams about the Furious Five, you know, the 5 schools of martial arts in here, they do, he imagines them as like a superhero force, like the Justice League or the Avengers. But they move around like anime characters. Which, yeah, you know, in the movie they do that too. They move around like cartoon animals and like fast-paced action, which is like really something special. But he worships them to the point that when he meets them, he's like all starstruck and everything, kind of like me at a convention. And like at a convention, when you go to see the main temple with all the artifacts of everything, he like goes gaga over everything, nuts, goes crazy, like a real fanboy. But like when he actually meets the five, they turn like dirt. They make fun of his gut, they make fun of his stupidity and everything else, which must be hard for the cast, especially Jackie Chan, because he's like one of the nicest actors in the world. So you can't even talk about his bad poets, kind of like bad. You know, you can't believe that it's come out of his mouth. Also, it's the same matter. I believe that Snake in this movie is one chick and animated with like little blossoms in her head, like ears. But they make her look kind of like a little girl, more or less. So anyway, she is generally looks like she generally cares about Poe, and she went to help him out and everything. So there's that. But I love the way they animate Kalan's eyes in this movie, as well as they animate Tigress's eyes to be all glowy and stuff. So that's really awesome. So anyway, they have Poe here, who's idolizing these 5 people, these 5 warriors, and he wants to meet them all and like fanboy gush over them. But he's with his adopted father, played by Jim Hung. I can't remember his real name in the movie, but he's a goose. Obviously, he's adopted Poe because Poe's a giant panda, and he's a goose. So obviously, there's a species difference there. But anyway, he's like I want you to keep on the family business to me of making noodles. More of the specialty restaurant, like in Tempo. And it's very cool because he said, that when you have the noodle dream about noodles and stuff, you have to. I'll give you the information about my secret ingredient soup. Kind of a stupid name, but whatever. Supposedly, I just had to dream about these. In reality, it's the dream about the warriors, but he told his father that it's the soup dream, the noodle dream, because he wanted to be in good relations with his father, and he knew that it would break his little heart to see Poe not do that. So in any case, they have to select the new Dragon Warrior, in which Ugrate, the Supreme Master of stuff over there, has gotta pick a new Dragon Warrior, and he's more or less like a Sina Okut from the movie, and he keeps carrying on about like all the actions of the Buddhism and Taoism and Kung Fu and that kind of thing. So he's like he wanted to make a big festival of picking the Dragon Warrior. Well, the last one 1,000 years or so. So it's kind of like a Super Saiyan. Yeah, 15,000 years. So anyway, Poe's really excited to go. We rushed everyone out of the restaurant. Yeah, for some reason, I like the design that they picked for the pigs. I don't know what that says about me, but the pigs were cool. And you think that they'd be like a pig warrior or bunny warrior that's very good at martial arts. But no. I was hoping they would do like a Zodiac type thing. Like, where they have a dragon, they have a chicken, they have a pig, a rat, and so on and so forth. But they might do that for another movie. So anyway, they show Poe is really excited to do this, to go see the Dragon Warrior being picked out. So he has to go do new duty for his father, because otherwise his father will be out of business and sad himself. There's like a big golden opportunity for him in business. So he has to drag up the noodle cart up to the palace, the Jade Palace, which I don't know if it's actually based on anything real, like any real Jade Palaces or whatever, the Forbidden Palace. But he does, and it's funny because he's like all shocked. There's like 1,000 steps from the base of the temple staircase to the top. You lived here for over 10 years and you never noticed how steep it is up there, how many steps there are. That's kind of unbelievable. So anyway, he tires off like 10 steps and he got like 999 more to go, or 990 to go. So he makes up there without the cart. They close the door on him, which is very rude. And Poe left outside while everyone's having a good time inside. And as can be expected, Uguay takes a sweet time with going down the stairs. And then be respectful, and for the fact that he's a 1,000-year-old turtle, or something like that. So anyway, there's this one part where Poe gets anxious about going outside, and he decides to put a bunch of fireworks on a chair. Because, ancient China, they gotta celebrate the fireworks. So they feature this scene right in the back there, in which he rockets away from the seat. Now, I have a question. I know it's a cartoon and stuff, and I know that cartoon physics ruin everything, but I would say that Panda Bear weighs at least 600 pounds easy. So wouldn't they need a lot more firework force to get him off the ground if that was the case? rather than like say a dozen or so fireworks at the bottom of the care. Anyway, the father ends up trying to blow up that fireworks, much like my father does. Whenever I try to do something stupid, he always tries to get me away into safety. So anyway, Woody is coming down the stairs, and he's about to pick Tigress. So then, Paul comes over and he lands in Tigress's spot, and Ugrey ends up picking him by mistake. So, then, he's rightfully pissed off because this fat, blubbering, stupid moron got into power at being the big dragon warrior, even though Poe himself realized that that's a mistake. Now, Ugrey says repeatedly, like 2 or 3 times after this, there are no mistakes. Freaking cool. There are no mistakes. To which message for like, oh my god, I've thought this with this pet idiot. So, it's real funny that I quit like that because his eye even twitches, and it's funny because he says that he sends a messenger duck out to one of the guards of Thailand to keep the double guards on him, whereas he don't got 1,000 rhino guards on top of him already. Now, it's funny that this prison where he's at, it's like a security max prison, like a Chinese equivalent to that. Kind of remind me of that one from Legend of Korra with the waterbender, the bad waterbender person, Granny. She liked something like that. Anyway, remind me of that. With all these guards and this whole prison complex just for one person. This guy must be so dangerous. So anyway, Sifu sends the duck over to him to know that and to be careful of this guy because as the new drug warrior is selected, he's gonna want to take him on and challenge him and stuff, and claim the throne for himself. So anyway, the duck goes over, and he greeted by a rhino version of the guard, played by Michael Clark. God rest his soul, because he was awesome in this, and he's very smug about Talon being encapsulated and imprisoned and immobile, kind of like Kratos from the movie Ascension, Game of Ascension. So he's like this, in like a weird turtle type of armor on his back with multiple hooks on it, and the rhino can even steps on his tail to where he couldn't even budge on it. Now it's funny that this happened because when under descent down to see him, it showed Dr. Ludwig on his feathers. Now this is the self-affirming prophecy that I've been in before. In that, when I feel that if Sifu didn't send the duck messenger to go get him and warn him about Talon and whatever, that he wouldn't be able to get the duck feather, the pick locks, and escape. and therefore make trouble for himself. If Seafood didn't do that, he wouldn't be able to get free. So anyway, they show him getting free, being all the rhinos could, according to 300, the all-encompassing stupid beast rhinos. And it's funny because they show him all dying and getting blown up by Talon in his escape pattern, but he keeps Duck alive, give the message to Seafood that he's free. And I feel like there's not only from Mulan, but there's a thing that says that don't shoot the messenger, and let him run free and tell him that I'm free and I'll come for your head. So anyway, they go do that, and they show that Poe's getting more acquainted with his Furious 5 rivals or helpers, and there's always a saying that says that you shouldn't meet your idols because you will be disappointed, because those people are just downright mean to him, being a very fat, stupid panda, and they don't want to go either on that. They keep saying that you don't belong here, you're dumb, you're stupid, you're fat, you're an idiot. Yeah, you guys should pick me instead, and because I deserve it more. But let me tell you, this is really bad. So he let the duck lets them know that Talon is free, and so they start training Poe in being the Dragon Warrior. Now I like the fact that they give him a bunch of crap, but then Poe's up earlier than the other people, because they're more complacent in their role as being superior fighters and stuff. So he's willing to learn about Kung Fu, learning how to defend yourself, how to be more skillful in the actual masters. So they go through the training program with him. It's like I felt like this should be a good time to mention I'll Make a Man Out of You sung by Seafood, Dustin Hoffman, and Jeff Black is the man, or Poe is the man that will be trained. So that's really funny. See, first of all, getting pounded at first, then learning how to do stuff in the end. So then, during the course of this movie, you see that Tigress and the others are getting fed up with all this, and they go fight Talon by themselves, because their masters like Kung Fu, and they're 5-1. So they figure to go about themselves and fight them off. And at first, it's like they do on the big long bridge, like Indiana Jones. And they actually do a pretty good job with Crane being like an air support character, because he can only fly that Amanda. But for some reason, they have Amanda's be the anchor for the bridge. I mean, what in the world would they pick the smallest character in the bunch to hold up the two ropes on a falling bridge? That don't make any sense. So then Talon easily beats all of them by using the nerve pinching technique. And then Poe ends up learning this weird pinky grab by Master Sifu. Even though he is not taught it by Sifu, he used to learn how to do it. Much later in the movie, he used to do his Tai Lung, and he just learned how to do it by observing. Kind of like another Dragon Ball Z character, which is also really fat and very underestimated. Majin Buu. Yeah, I'll get into it a little bit later, but Poe is basically a black and white version of Buu. So, they end up showing that Master Sifu has tried to teach Poe how to do it, but he does it very differently than the other 5. And he uses a very interesting technique to teach them how to do Kung Fu by food. Yeah, by food. Dumplings in particular, because that's the only thing that a fat panda knows how to do. Eat and sleep. And it's real funny that he does it like that, because it's like, you think wax on, wax off are too weird for you. Well, this is beyond weird. He uses soup and dumplings for that, which, watching that made me very hungry. But, the well there, he shows that, Sifu ends up doing it with Poe. Teaching him how to Kung Fu and all that. You know what? Oogway, when he finds out that Tai Lung is actually freed and on loose and stuff, he says, there is no bad news. And then he finds out and he's like, that is very bad news. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I'm outie. And then just dies right there in a petal, in a storm of flower petals. So it's really funny that he also gives Sifu a little speech about choice and free will, and that, you know, you gotta work with what you have, and that you can control everything. Like with Poe, like, I chose him for a reason. There was no accidents with that. So anyway, he used a peach pit as an example. Later on, it ends up growing into something bigger. But you know, say that Poe's like that because he might be a fat idiot now, but later on he'll get trained into becoming more of a fighter and that kind of thing. So anyway, he trains, he becomes better than Sifu, and then it's funny because even Oogway was able to take down Tai Lung by using quick moves with his finger, kind of the 5-point explode heart trick from Kill Bill. I mean, you would never expect it from a troll, but still. And the reason why Sifu was able to finish off Tai Lung is because Tai Lung was actually adopted by Sifu as a baby, and so he viewed him as like a son of sorts. And she has a lot in common with Tigress in that regard. So anyway, it shows that it shows that Sifu, it kind of has like a soft spot for Tai Lung. But Oogway doesn't have that. So he was able to put him down for good and put him in prison for 10 years. So anyway, Poe ends up becoming really powerful in Kung Fu to the point that he can get the dragon scroll. And they give him the dragon scroll. There's like unlimited power. And then they find out that there's nothing written on the scroll. Like a Chinese proverb. And he finds out that the only reason why that's not it is because there's no secret ingredient. There's no real, that anybody can be a master. But a Pokemon master. And, go back to what his father said about the secret ingredient soup. That anybody can become the supreme master of Kung Fu. So anyway, the Furious Five get thrashed by Tylon by using the nerve stoppage technique. So they'll come back home completely trashed. And they're like, they can't stop him. So we have to evacuate the city without Talon comes by. And when Talon does come by, he's like, I come for the dragon scroll. And she's like, you can't have it. So Poke comes up. I had to ring up the stairs so much. Which is very funny that he ends up trying to taking down Talon. But Talon is like, what are you gonna do, sit on me? So it's funny that later on in the fight scene, they actually do show that Poe ends up sitting on his face. But by accident. As he falls on the stairs. So then they end up fighting each other and whatnot. And I want to see that. In real life, if you take a snow leopard versus a panda bear, I'm pretty sure that the leopard would eat the other one's face off. But it's so funny that Thailand has everything in his power to beat Poe up, but his fat once thought to be his greatest weakness turns out to be his strength. And every punch that Thailand gives him will end up not doing any damage to him, and he keeps recovering. Kind of like Majin Buu. Every time a low energy attack would knock him out, he will always get right back up again. It's like the song. So anyway, it's revealed that Thailand tried to take the secret weapon of the nerve punch or whatever that he used for the other combatants. And it's one of those things that paralyzes the person in one hit. And all it does is tickles Poe to no end. And it's very funny that this powerful type doesn't do any damage. Again, like Majin Buu. So anyway, they had this one part where Poe launches him in the air, high in the air. Even though he's able to land on his feet for all the other scenes where that happened. I guess because he's disoriented and stuff. When the snow leopard lands, he makes a big crater and says, I hate you. In a big crater. And it's funny because Poe ends up grabbing his finger. And he's like, you wouldn't dare. You wouldn't. Seafood didn't teach you this. Because I didn't get taught by seafood this move. But I know it from observation. And he said, no, you didn't. And then you see him getting crushing his finger. And then doing like a a little nuclear blast, an over blast, and killing him. So that's actually really, really cool that that stupid idiotic character was what got the bit of the guy. It's hardcore master of kung fu that was so vicious and aggressive. And you know what was real funny? In the third movie, when he revived it, come back from the dead, he's like, Panda, I respect you. And then afterwards, everyone like, we respect you, bro. Please don't harm us. Please accept us for what we are. Then it felt like we could get correct. And then it's like, Master Sifu, I gotta go see him. Master Sifu is like on the ground. We think that Taylor killed him, but no, he said, I'm not dead. I'm not dying, you idiot. I'm just here to I'm just happiness. I'm blessed because you brought me happiness. I'm blessed. I love this movie. I love it to death. I love the fact that when we're trying to blow out the candle, and his name, Sifu gets bored of it, he blows up every candle with his kung fu movements. And I love the way it's like, okay, fine, I'll teach you how to be the Dragon Warrior. And I love the sound effects in this movie, all the Chinese music too. And they even managed to get in the Wilhelm scream in it too. The ow! You know, when a guy falls into the pit of despair in one of the cars going Talon. I love Talon. He's a great villain. He's angry that Poe got to beat the best, and he wanted it back. He was really surprised that there was the Dragon's Skull anyway. And Poe was like, no, I didn't get to eat it at first, but there is no secret ingredient. It's more like the journey to get the power is more interesting than the actual power itself. And even people like I'm not allowed to look at the message on the school. And it's funny when he says, oh my god, there really is nothing on there. You're not just making up because you're Thunderhead. Anyway, I wonder if Poe actually showed the skull afterwards. But that's a really durable skull. You know, you see it hand out to people, you see fighting over it and all that. And you see the little blue, it survived the pink crest there. And even when Poe puts the little hand up there, his finger up, like, that's the ultimate move right there. So this movie is really special in that it highlights Asian Chinese culture, the philosophy of Kung Fu, and they really do stick with Kung Fu, not like the Matrix where they go into other forms of martial arts like wushu and that kind of thing, where they say, I know Kung Fu. Yeah, they do everything else but Kung Fu. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. Laughing during it. I was very humbled by the whole, we love you, we respect you, you're our master. A big fat idiot, Super Panda. it's kind of racist against panda bears. Actually, this is all fat, stupid, lazy, and all this stuff. Even seafood, like, it's fine that you can't do a split for me for this, but for food, you can do a split and you're 10 feet in the air. So it's like in the movie, is it Road Trip or I think Road Trip? The guy says you teach a monkey about economics, but you have to learn how to communicate in such a way that they can understand it. So like bananas and fruit and stuff. So yeah, so the seafood ended up teaching Poe how to do complex moves by using food and keeping away from him. That was like pretty noble and smart. So I love this movie. And as you can imagine, I'm going to cover Kung Fu Panda 2 and 3 by next year. And during the end credits, they show the peach pit that we planted, growing them in to be a plant by itself, like Poe. And they have a rendition of a little kung fu fighting, which I really like to animate in the movie in anime form like in the beginning. So yeah, I thank you for watching my video on DreamWorks Kung Fu Panda. The movie was awesome, and I did this for Asian History Month of 2025. It was really fun. That's because his weaknesses became his strengths. And as you can imagine, I give this movie my happy face. Seriously cool. Because it was freaking awesome. So now, if you like what you see here, and want to see more of my videos and such, like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. You can also call me for any future information and opinions about my stuff using my cell phone number to call me or text me at 631-707-3707. And if you'd like, you can always follow me on Twitter or X if you prefer at PMelsonPro. And my email is jjsviewingchannel@gmail.com. So, I salute England likes animation, Chinese culture, martial arts, but the jackpot. I feel like his role as a fast slob anime character is more like his niche, because he's funny in that role. Real funny in that role. And peace out, my brothers and sisters. Sayonara to all you girls and guys in Internet land. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.